Alright, we are on episode 2. As of this point, I've actually finished this series by now, but I'm still going to try to review each episode. I'll do my best to keep track of individual episodes. They do tend to blend together in my head a bit once I've seen the whole thing. Once again, these reviews are not spoiler free, so proceed at your own risk. Before I get into this episode, I just want to share a disclaimer that Sonic and Tails do not appear in any other episodes, only the first one. Okay, so we left off with Knuckles being captured by the two independent agents. I can confirm now that they are both former gun agents, or at least Ellie Taylor's character is definitely a former gun agent, and the Kid Cootie's character also referenced working for guns. I don't know if he still works for gun or not. I think they're both independent now. But anyways, they have him in a cage and are waiting to deliver him to the buyer. Knuckles says some pretty scary lines on this scene. I was pretty shocked actually. For example, one thing he says to Ellie Taylor's character is that he is visualizing her inevitable defeat and her screams are a symphony to him as he grinds her skull into a powder. He also laughs in pleasure as he's visualizing this. Holy cow, what the heck? I'm not necessarily saying this is bad, it was just kind of shocking and really dark. So Wade wants to rescue Knuckles, and I really like this part. I also really like the characterization of Wade in this show. I think Wade is better here than he is in the movies, because in the movies he's only comic relief, so we don't really think about him very much, but in this show he's a main character, and so we get to see him be more than comic relief. We have this really fun scene where Wade visualizes himself rescuing Knuckles in the most dramatic and unrealistic ways. It's so fun. I think one of the reasons why I enjoy scenes like this is because I can tell that Adam Pally is having a blast. Of course, when Wade actually tries to rescue Knuckles, it's much clumsier and doesn't go exactly how he visualizes it. I particularly liked his confrontation with Kid Cootie's character. I'm sorry, I still can't remember his name. There's a bit where Kid Cootie's mom calls him during a fight, so he's kind of like half strangling Wade and half talking to his mom, and Wade kind of joins in the conversation pretending to be his work friend. But even though Wade isn't doing like a very skilled job at rescuing Knuckles, he is resourceful and good enough at distracting the bad guys and confusing them that he is able to somehow get the job done. They do manage to escape using Knuckles' gliding ability. At first I was like, what the heck? Knuckles can't glide with someone riding on his back, and I thought that was really corny. But it is cool to see Knuckles' ability to glide for the first time in the movies, and also what does make it a little better is that Wade is like, oh, I didn't know you could fly, and Knuckles is like, no, I can glide for very short distances, and then they just fall. So they don't suspend your disbelief for very long, which is good. They eventually make it to a burger shack using somebody else's truck to just calm down after everything that happened. And we have another great character moment here. I actually think this is the most emotional part in the show so far. Wade wants to celebrate their victory. Knuckles doesn't think it counts as a victory, he thinks they're just lucky. But Wade encourages Knuckles that even if they aren't where they want to be yet, they should still celebrate during the process. They talk a bit more about Knuckles, and Knuckles mentions that in all his journeys in life he's found that he's betrayed several times. But instead of just mentioning this, Knuckles uses this to further connect with Wade, understanding that Wade must know how this betrayal feels since his father left him. Knuckles sees Wade's strength in the way he is chosen to be loyal, unlike his father, and declares that he is a 3 on a scale of 1 to warrior. Aww. This episode ends where Knuckles and Wade realize that they are fugitives from the law due to the kind of big fiery commotion they caused when Wade was trying to rescue Knuckles. So they're obviously concerned about that. But also the two bad guys are concerned because they no longer have Knuckles, and the buyer's not just gonna let them walk away. They're as good as dead if they don't get Knuckles back. This was a super solid episode and I liked it a lot. It was funny and heartfelt and had a lot of action. The road trip style setting is a little bit reminiscent of the first Sonic movie, but it's also a bit more action-packed. And I don't know if I just didn't see this side of Knuckles in the movie, but he can be brutal sometimes. Holy crap.